What if the plants growing wild along forgotten mountain paths in Japan held healing power your pharmacy never mentioned? Millions spend over $100 a month on supplements that mask symptoms instead of solving them. Centuries before that, Zen monks in Shojin Ryori kitchens relied on a handful of ordinary plants for food and medicine. Okinawan centenarians, some of the longest living people recorded, ate many of these same plants at nearly every meal. Researchers at Kyoto and Tohoku University have spent a decade studying their effects on inflammation and cellular repair. Today, 20 forgotten plants eaten daily inside Buddhist temples and Okinawan villages. Number 4, lowered inflammation markers by nearly 40% in clinical research. Number 1 is the plant temple elders say was never allowed to run out. If forgotten plant wisdom speaks to you, hit subscribe. We cover a hidden tradition like this every week. Now let's get into it. Number 1. Burdock root. The root Zen monks ate before every fast, for a reason science only recently confirmed. In 12th century Japanese monasteries, monks in the mountains of Kyoto prepared burdock root every morning before zazen, digging it from temple gardens and simmering it slowly in iron pots. It was chosen because it kept the body steady through hours of fasting and meditation. Researchers at Kyoto University found that the inulin in burdock root feeds specific gut bacteria linked to reduced anxiety and sharper focus. It also supports blood sugar balance, reduces inflammation in the digestive tract, and slowly detoxifies the liver. Studies published in the Journal of Ethnopharmacology also connect it to healthier skin over time. To use it, simmer 2 tablespoons of dried burdock root in hot water for 10 minutes and drink it before your first meal. Zen monks weren't drinking this to live longer. They were drinking it to sit still. The longevity was simply what followed. Number 2. Shiso leaf. The purple-red leaf that once colored entire temple gardens in Kyoto. Buddhist monks planted shiso along temple walkways as early as the 8th century, using it to preserve umeboshi plums through humid summers without spoilage. Villagers noticed that families who ate shiso regularly seemed to recover faster from seasonal illness. A study from Nagoya University identified rosmarinic acid in shiso as a compound that reduces histamine response and calms seasonal allergies. It also supports respiratory health, eases mild anxiety, and has natural antibacterial properties that once made it essential for food safety. Chop 2 or 3 fresh shiso leaves into rice or tea daily, ideally with your evening meal. Monks never called shiso medicine. They called it the leaf that kept the temple kitchen alive through every season. Number 3. Mugwort. Known in Japan as yomogi, the plant burned and eaten inside temples for over 1,000 years. In rural Nagano, Buddhist practitioners used mugwort both as incense during meditation and as a spring vegetable, believing it cleared the mind before ceremony. Modern researchers at Chiba University found that eupatilin, a compound unique to mugwort, reduces inflammation in the stomach lining and supports healthy circulation. It's also used to ease menstrual discomfort, calm nervous tension, and support liver function during seasonal transitions. Traditionally, women in Okinawan villages steeped mugwort into tea each spring to reset digestion after winter. Steep 1 teaspoon of dried mugwort in hot water for 8 minutes, once daily during seasonal changes. Monks didn't burn mugwort to purify the air. They burned it to remind themselves that clarity has a scent. Number 4. Turmeric. Known locally as yukon, the root credited with some of Okinawa's most striking longevity statistics. Okinawan farmers have grown yukon for over 400 years, using it daily in tea long before turmeric became a global health trend. Elders on the island were recorded drinking it after meals, believing it protected the liver from years of hard field labor. A study published in the Journal of Nutritional Science found that curcumin, the active compound in turmeric, lowered inflammation markers by close to 40% in regular users. It also supports joint mobility, liver detoxification, and healthy blood circulation. Okinawan households traditionally boiled 1 teaspoon of yukon powder in water for 5 minutes and drank it after the evening meal. Okinawan elders never called this a cure. They called it simply what you drink after you eat, every single day, without exception. Number 5. Goya, or bitter melon. The vegetable Okinawans eat more than almost any population on Earth. In Okinawan farming villages, Goya was grown in nearly every household garden, prized for surviving the island's brutal summer heat when other crops failed. Elders believed its bitterness itself was medicine, a lesson passed down through generations of subsistence farming. Researchers at the University of the Ryukyus found that carotene, a compound in Goya, helps regulate blood sugar in a manner similar to certain diabetes medications. It also supports immune function, reduces inflammation, and aids digestion after heavy meals. Traditionally, Goya is thinly sliced, stir-fried with tofu and egg, and eaten fresh rather than stored. Okinawan grandmothers say the vegetables that taste hardest to love are usually the ones your body needs most. Number 6. Konbu, a dried kelp harvested along Japan's northern coastline for over 1,000 years. Buddhist temple kitchens in Kyoto used konbu as the base of nearly every broth, believing a food from the sea could restore what land-based meals could not. Okinawa, despite lacking natural kelp forests, imported konbu so consistently that it became a defining part of the island's diet. A study from Hokkaido University identified fukoiden, a compound in konbu, as supportive of immune regulation and healthy thyroid function. It is also linked to lower cholesterol, improved gut bacteria diversity, and reduced inflammation. To use it, soak a 3-inch strip of dried konbu in water overnight and use the liquid as a base for soup. Monks believed konbu taught patience. It cannot be rushed, only slowly drawn out, 1 hour at a time. Number 7. Matcha, the powdered green tea first brought to Japan by Zen monks returning from study in China in the 12th century. Eisai, the monk credited with introducing Zen Buddhism to Japan, planted the first tea gardens specifically so monks could stay alert through hours of seated meditation. Matcha became so central to temple life that entire ceremonies were built around its preparation. Researchers at the University of Tokyo found that L-theanine in matcha, combined with its caffeine, produces a calm form of focus rather than jittery energy. It also supports metabolism, provides antioxidants linked to cellular protection, and may support heart health. Whisk half a teaspoon of matcha powder into hot water each morning before your first task of the day. Monks didn't drink matcha to wake up. They drank it to arrive fully in the moment they were already in. Number 8. Daikon radish, grown in temple gardens throughout Japan since at least the 8th century. Buddhist cooks pickled daikon in rice bran to preserve it through winter, when fresh vegetables were scarce in mountain monasteries. It became a staple eaten with nearly every temple meal, valued for aiding digestion after simple but heavy rice-based dishes. A study from Osaka University found that enzymes in raw daikon support the breakdown of starches and reduce bloating after meals. It also supports liver detoxification, reduces inflammation, and provides vitamin C during colder months. Grate 2 tablespoons of fresh daikon and eat it alongside your largest meal of the day. Temple cooks called daikon the vegetable that asks for nothing and gives everything back. Number 9. Lotus root, or renkon, grown in temple ponds, and considered sacred in Buddhist tradition for its symbolism of purity, rising from mud. Monks in Kyoto's older temples cultivated lotus not only for its roots, but for its symbolic reminder that clarity can grow from difficulty. The root itself became a staple in Shojin Ryori cuisine, sliced and simmered in temple kitchens for centuries. Researchers at Kyushu University found that lotus root contains high levels of dietary fiber and vitamin C that support gut health and reduce inflammation. It also stabilizes blood sugar and supports respiratory function. Slice lotus root thin, simmer it in soy broth for 15 minutes, and serve it warm with rice. Monks say the root that grows through mud without staining is the same lesson repeated at every meal. Number 10. Shiitake mushroom, cultivated in the forests surrounding Japanese temples since at least the 12th century. Monks discovered that shiitake grew naturally on fallen oak logs near monastery grounds and began cultivating it deliberately, drying surplus mushrooms to last through winter months. It became one of the primary protein sources in a diet that avoided meat entirely. A study from Nagasaki University found that lentinan, a compound unique to shiitake, supports immune cell activity and may aid the body's natural defenses. It also supports heart health, provides vitamin D when sun-dried, and reduces inflammation. Soak 2 dried shiitake mushrooms in water overnight and add both the mushroom and the soaking liquid to soup. Monks dried these mushrooms in sunlight for the same reason they meditated in silence. Patience concentrates what rushing destroys. Number 11. Sweet potato, specifically the deep purple variety grown across Okinawa for over 300 years. Introduced to the island in the 17th century, purple sweet potato quickly became a dietary staple after rice crops repeatedly failed in Okinawa's harsh coastal soil. It sustained entire villages through famine and became inseparable from Okinawan identity. Researchers at the University of the Ryukyus found that anthocyanins, the compound responsible for the potato's deep purple color, support cellular protection and reduce oxidative stress. It also stabilizes blood sugar, supports gut bacteria, and provides sustained energy without spikes. Okinawan households traditionally steamed the whole potato and ate it as a base of nearly every meal. Elders on the island say the purple potato outlived every diet trend simply by never claiming to be one. Number 12. Ginger, grown in Japanese Buddhist temple gardens for its warming properties long before it reached Western kitchens. Zen monks in colder mountain temples ate ginger specifically before long meditation sessions, believing it settled the stomach and steadied the breath during hours of stillness. It became a fixture of temple cooking, added to broths and teas throughout the colder months. A study from the University of Tokyo found that gingerol, the active compound in ginger, reduces inflammation and supports healthy digestion after meals. It also eases nausea, supports circulation, and may reduce muscle soreness. Grate 1 teaspoon of fresh ginger into hot water, steep for 5 minutes, and drink it before sitting in stillness. Monks believed a settled stomach was the first requirement of a settled mind. Number 13. Sesame, or goma, ground fresh in Buddhist temple kitchens as the primary source of fat in a diet that avoided oil and meat. Shojin Ryori cooking relied on sesame to add richness to otherwise simple vegetable dishes, and monks ground it fresh each day rather than storing it, believing freshly cracked seeds carried more life force. Researchers at Kyoto University found that sesamin, a compound in sesame seeds, supports liver function and provides antioxidant protection at the cellular level. It also supports bone health, provides healthy fats, and may reduce cholesterol. Toast 1 tablespoon of sesame seeds, grind them coarsely, and sprinkle them over rice or vegetables daily. Temple cooks say sesame taught them that small things, ground with care, feed more than large things, rushed. Number 14. Sencha, the everyday green tea grown across the hillsides surrounding Japanese temples since the 9th century. Unlike the ceremonial matcha reserved for special occasions, sencha was the tea monks drank throughout the ordinary hours of the day, brewed simply and consumed without ritual. It became the quiet backbone of daily temple life. A study from Shizuoka University found that catechins in sencha support cardiovascular health and provide antioxidant protection against cellular damage. It also supports metabolism, may reduce cholesterol, and provides a mild, steady form of alertness. Steep 1 teaspoon of loose sencha leaves in hot water for 2 minutes, up to 3 times daily. Monks never treated sencha as special. They treated it as proof that the ordinary, repeated daily, becomes sacred. Number 15. Perilla seed. pressed for oil inside Buddhist temples that avoided the animal fats used elsewhere in Japan. Temple cooks in mountain regions pressed perilla seed into oil as their primary cooking fat, valuing it for both its flavor and its ability to be stored through long winters. It became essential to Shojin Ryori cooking, used sparingly but consistently. Researchers at Kyoto Prefectural University found that perilla oil is exceptionally high in alpha-linolenic acid, a plant-based omega-3 linked to reduced inflammation and heart health. It also supports brain function, skin health, and healthy cholesterol levels. Use 1 tablespoon of perilla oil as a finishing drizzle over cooked vegetables rather than for high-heat cooking. Monks pressed this oil slowly by hand, believing food prepared without haste nourished more than food prepared without care. Number 16. Wasabi, grown wild along mountain streams near Buddhist temples in central Japan since at least the 10th century. Monks discovered wasabi growing naturally near cold spring water sources and began cultivating it deliberately, using it sparingly to preserve raw foods safely before refrigeration existed. It became inseparable from the practice of eating with full attention, since its intensity demanded focus. A study from Nagoya University found that isothiocyanates in wasabi have natural antibacterial properties and may support respiratory health. It also aids digestion, provides anti-inflammatory compounds, and supports immune function. Grate a small amount of fresh wasabi root and use it sparingly alongside simple, plain dishes. Monks say wasabi teaches restraint. A little changes everything, and too much destroys it. Number 17. Nori, the dried seaweed sheets prepared along Japan's coastline and brought inland to temple kitchens for over 1,000 years. Coastal villages traded nori to mountain monasteries where fresh seafood was unavailable, making it one of the only ocean foods in an inland monk's diet. It became a way of eating the sea without eating anything that once lived in it. Researchers at Tokyo University of Marine Science found that nori contains taurine and iodine at levels that support thyroid function and cardiovascular health. It also provides plant-based protein, supports gut bacteria, and offers vitamin B12, rare in plant foods. Toast 1 sheet of nori briefly over low heat and wrap it around rice as a daily addition to meals. Monks called nori proof that the sea could reach the mountains if you were patient enough to trade for it. Number 18. Adzuki beans, simmered in temple kitchens across Japan for both ceremonial and everyday meals since at least the 9th century. Buddhist temples served adzuki beans during seasonal festivals, believing their deep red color warded off misfortune, while also relying on them daily as an affordable source of plant protein. They became a bridge between temple ritual and ordinary survival. A study from Tokushima University found that adzuki beans are unusually high in polyphenols that support healthy blood sugar and reduce inflammation. They also support kidney function, provide fiber for gut health, and offer sustained energy. Simmer half a cup of dried adzuki beans in water for 40 minutes and add them to rice or soup. Monks believed the bean that took the longest to cook taught the most patience per bite. Number 19. Umeboshi, the sour pickled plum found in nearly every Japanese Buddhist temple pantry since the 8th century. Monks pickled plums in salt and shiso for months at a time, creating a preserved food that could last years without spoiling, essential for surviving lean seasons in mountain monasteries. A single umeboshi often accompanied simple rice meals as the only source of intense flavor. Researchers at Wakayama University found that citric acid in umeboshi supports digestion and helps the body absorb minerals from simple meals. It also supports energy metabolism, provides natural antibacterial properties, and may ease fatigue. Eat 1 whole umeboshi plum with your first meal of the day, ideally alongside plain rice. Monks say 1 sour plum a day was worth more than a full meal without attention. Number 20. Chrysanthemum flower, dried and steeped into tea inside Buddhist temples, since at least the 10th century, closing this list the way monks closed their evenings. Temple monks grew chrysanthemums specifically for tea, consumed in the final hours before sleep, believing it settled the mind after a full day of labor and meditation. It became the last taste of the day in many mountain monasteries. A study from Anhui University found that flavonoids in chrysanthemum tea support relaxation and may improve sleep quality. It also supports eye health, reduces mild inflammation, and provides antioxidants. Steep 1 tablespoon of dried chrysanthemum flowers in hot water for 5 minutes and drink it in the final hour before bed. Monks didn't end their day with medicine. They ended it with a flower and called that enough.